Okay, so tonight we're going to have a go at building the build your own birdhouse kit so that we can hopefully paint it as well. First thing we want to do is open up the packet, empty it all out all over your table or whatever surface you're working on, and start to lay out all of the little wooden pieces that make the birdhouse on the table. This will mean that you can check that you've got everything that you should have in your kit, and also makes it a little bit easier when it comes to putting things together, that you can just pick the piece up straight away and hopefully follow the instructions as we go along. So the first thing you're probably going to need to do is get yourself or get an adult to help you open the glue, because it might be they need to use something sharp, having unscrewed the top, to let the glue come out. So you'll see me do that in a minute. And also the other thing you might want to do is have an elastic band handy, so that when you're putting it together you can use the elastic band to hold it, or the pieces together, before the glue sets. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, using something sharp, we're going to poke it in the end of our glue bottle, which should puncture the little sort of seal on the top, and the glue should then be ready to come out. You can then sort of screw the little nozzle bit back onto the top of the glue, and you should be ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is take the front plate, which is the one with the hole, the heart-shaped hole in it, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on the tabs at the bottom of it, 2 of them. And then once we've got glue on those, we're going to sit them onto the base plate, poke them into the little holes. Hopefully it will just about stand itself up. Okay, and then we do the same with the back panel, bit of glue on both the tabs at the bottom. Pop them in the holes. So at various points when you're doing this, you might find that bits fall over initially, and that's okay. So next we're going to put on the side panels, so we're going to run a little bit of glue down the shorter edge. We go around the corner and onto the longer edge, and then we carry on and do the next shorter edge as well. So you should have put glue on 3 edges. And you need to then try and pop that in the side between the front bit and the back bit of your birdhouse. This is where it all gets a bit fun. It's like putting together a house of cards, because bits fall over, bits wobble all over the place. So we're going to do the same with the other side piece now. Glue down the short edge, follow it round down the longer edge, and then onto the shorter edge again. So again, 3 sides of glue. Pop it in, sort of try and squeeze it all together to make it hold together. This is where it would be handy if you were an octopus, because having more than 2 hands starts to come in handy. So once you think you've got it pretty much sort of held together, the next thing we're going to do is to try and hold that together with an elastic band. So we're going to try and put an elastic band over the top of it to hold everything in place. And as you'll notice, bits start to fall over and it can be a bit frustrating, so you might need to sort of get an adult to maybe hold something in place, or you hold it in place and get the adult to put the elastic band over the top once you've got everything where you want. I didn't have an adult to hand, so I had to do it all myself. So elastic band over the top, on it goes, and then you might need to sort of line up your walls around the side again to put them back where you want them to. Okay, so once we're sort of happy that that part's together, next we're going to do the roof part. So we're going to pick up the 2 roofing panels and put them up like that in a triangle with the holes lined up next to each other. And we're going to take the bit of string that we've got. You might want to lick one end of it to make it a bit wet so that it's easier to kind of put through the hole. Make it nice and pointy. And you can poke it through the hole and pull the string sort of all the way through so that it's about halfway along the bit of string. Okay, and then we're going to glue this onto the top of the birdhouse. So we're going to put glue down the edges of our walls. And once we've got our glue, we're then going to put the roofing panel onto the top of there. Just carefully pop it into place, like that. Okay, and then once we're happy that that's where it is, and we want it to be, we're going to take one of the decorative parts, put some glue down on one side of that, and sort of attach it onto the front, just underneath where the roof is. You'll see in a minute where I mean that to be when I turn it round. Like that. And then we're going to do the same with the back one, so we'll put a bit of glue on the decorative piece. And stick it on the back, underneath the roof. Now once we're happy everything is where we would like it to be, there might be a little bit of sort of fiddling and moving the bits about to make sure everything's where you want it to be. And then the last thing we're going to do is put the roofing strip bit on, which is that little thin bit of wood, which we're going to glue along the top of that roof in a second. And pop it on just like that. So basically we're just going to stick some glue all along the edge of that piece. And then we're going to just carefully plop it on the top of the roof. And this will probably be easier for you because you've got smaller fingers than I have and it's a bit fiddly, but basically you're just going to pop it on, make sure it's in the right place. Wiping off any extra glue that you don't want. Okay, and there you have a completed birdhouse. So now you just need to wait for the glue to dry and you'll be ready to go. Basically once the glue's dried you might want to snip off that elastic band or take it off and you're then ready for painting.